How's it going? Welcome back, my beautiful sinners, to another great video here on the Majestic Savior Show. Welcome, welcome. Ooh, hold on to your rectum, boys, because yes, today's gonna be a doozy. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you go down below and subscribe for fresh and original content, okay? If you're tired of regurgitated douchebags on YouTube and you want someone to expose the establishment, make some quality music, by the way, go check it out on Spotify, and make all kinds of different interesting videos, join the community today. I would so appreciate it if you did subscribe. It takes 2 seconds and you have no idea how much that would mean to me. I truly value each and every one of you. Now today, boys, I am going to give you my review of The Northman, okay? This is The Northman review. Now you might be saying, Savior, how are you doing such an early review? Well, luckily for the UK people, The Northman, which is a movie I have been looking forward to for quite a long time now, is coming out early in the UK. I think it comes out a week later in the US, so finally it pays to be British because, let's be honest, we don't have a lot of things going for us in this cloudy and rainy and depressing country, let's be honest, okay? We just drink tea and we sit indoors. Tea! Ooh, I love tea! So, The Northman is a movie by Robert Eggers, okay? I'm not sure if I'm butchering his name, but Robert Eggers, okay, is one of my all-time favorite directors. Also, the sad truth is the movie industry is also collapsing because of Hollywood and because of their movies constantly, fitting into this formulaic design and pushing this kind of progressive agenda and just, making these blockbuster movies that are very theatrical, very explosive, but doesn't ever have much depth to them whatsoever. It never tells us interesting stories because they want to play it safe and they want to make the most money possible. So I've always been a big fan of independent movies and, smaller directors and independent films, which luckily we can find more of now because, we've got the internet. But this is a rare treat because The Northman is a movie that's very different. It's got a very A24 type feel to it. So the fact that a big studio like Universal Studios is actually, publishing this movie, says that the movie industry isn't completely dead yet. We still do have some good cinematic movies coming out, being released like June and now The Northman. Robert Eggers, if you don't know, is the mastermind and one of the best directors in our current times, I believe, who made films like The Witch, which is a very gripping and disturbing movie about, well, you guessed it, a witch. It doesn't have that much depth to it, but the cinematography, the atmosphere that he creates in his movies are just so rich and always... It's almost like Dark Souls. It's kind of like the Dark Souls of movies, and what I mean by that is it's so haunting, the atmosphere, and you are on the edge of your seat all the time because of, the cinematic design, because of the atmosphere and the vibe that he produces within his movies. And he made one of my all-time favorite movies, which is The Lighthouse, which is just a masterpiece. It's shot in this restricted lens, and it's all in black and white, and I probably sound like a hipster, but trust me, you should watch it because it's all about the nature of man and how man can easily lose his mind and the nature of reality and your perception of reality. It's a very interesting and shocking film. Robert Eggers and his movies are very slow paced, but the atmosphere and the rich detail of the world that he creates is just like nothing else. The movies are always shot so beautifully, and I wish I could show you on screen, but sadly I tried, and of course I got copyright claimed because Universal Studios are a bunch of douchebags. And it's not really surprising because you know who owns them, don't you? Ooh. So here is my Northman review, my early Northman movie review, and The Northman is a masterpiece, okay? It's truly amazing. It's basically a revenge story. I'm not going to go into spoilers. It's based on an old Norse legend of Amleth, okay? I think I'm pronouncing it correct, but I don't know. I am pretty special. Basically, that is the same legend and same story that inspired Shakespeare and his play Hamlet. But this is a much more darker take. It's loosely based around that legend, but what's so great about this film is it's basically a revenge story. It has some kind of supernatural elements like most of his films do. All of his movies play with the idea that there might be something beyond our human world, beyond something that we can't fully grasp, but it's never, actually introduced into the movie like, okay, this is magic, unless of course we're talking about The Witch, but you know what I mean, like The Lighthouse and his other movies, it always has an element of kind of mystique to it. But this is a very brutal and realized world of the Vikings. And the history of the Vikings is so interesting because they're basically just a bunch of pirates, a bunch of raiders who went around and pillaged lots and lots of places for riches. They stormed castles, they raided a lot of England, and, they did some pretty nasty stuff, as they pillaged the villages. And, this highlights the brutality of that age and the brutality of man, the cycle of violence, and the true animalistic nature of human beings. And it taps into that primal past that we've kind of now slowly disconnecting from because of our evolution, although we are still very tribalistic and we always cause warfare. Just look at the current world. But it's so primal and visceral and brutal, and it's very violent without always showing the violence, which makes it more violent, if you get what I'm saying. The cinematography is absolutely incredible. Like I said, it's very lingering on each cinematic shot. It doesn't try and rush to the next one like most modern day movies. The soundtrack is absolutely wonderful. The music is produced by Robin Carolan. I think I'm saying his name right, I'm not sure. But anyway, the soundtrack is truly amazing. It's got these heavy drums and it's got these, nice kind of fantasy, light strings now and then. But most of the time, it's very epic stuff. And this movie, it's kind of simplistic in its storytelling, but the philosophical nature behind it makes the movie feel far more in depth. And like I said, the kind of cinematography, which is what his movies are so known for, that is what really gives the movie its rich detail. And I'm just so glad that movies like this still exist and it explores, the past. It's an age that we haven't really seen on screen before, done this well. It seems like they are actually respecting some of the history and playing with it at the same time. His movies are special because he captures the emotion and the atmosphere within the scene, not because of the characters, not because of what's going on, but more so the landscape. I think The Northman is a great movie and it's definitely worth watching. Movies like this do exist and it's not all big corporate, studios and Disney that are in control of everything, because that would be a very boring world, and also they have a very malicious agenda that they are trying to push within modern day movies. So this is a breath of fresh air. And yeah, for Northman movie review, I would give it, I'm not going to rate it, I don't do that, but it's worth watching. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.